Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, just the other day, I was contemplating and praying, being spiritually aware, and I was reminded that I am one of the worst people that have lived on earth, and that means that I've done a lot of wrong in my life, and I can't imagine that people do too much more wrong than I do, except certain things, it's causing pain and suffering. I'm not into that. I haven't done that kind of stuff. But other vices that you find yourself in, well, lied, done some cheating, done some stealing, you know, done some backbiting. So I can't really be down on anybody else. You know, I might not have killed anybody, but I violated. So we're all violators. I admitted that. Then I started thinking about when I started thinking of God, the power that I can't see. I know I care more about that than most of you. Most of you believe in that stuff. I know of that stuff. So I'm held accountable a little bit more than you are. I've been given a duty and responsibility to make evidence that I have a relationship with that God that you don't know about, and I'm supposed to be the expressed image of it. I'm here to represent that, not just in words and but in deeds as well. And so that gives me the benefit of having some information that I could share with you. So I'm thinking, because I care about all of you and don't want any of you to have pain and suffering, I don't know anybody else on this earth that care more in that regard than I do. So if I don't know anybody on earth that care more about that regard on earth than I do, then why am I listening to anybody on earth in this regard that know less about it, have less compassion for it than I do? I mean, that didn't make any sense. How would you know? And how would God care? I mean, you don't know it because I'm not doing it. And why would God care? I'm not the evidence. I'm denying God's existence. So something say, wow, Eddie, if you like that, maybe you are the Messiah. They said Jesus was going to return. Who said how? Why not returning you? So something say, well, when you speak to the people, speak as though you are that black Messiah. I thought about that. I even thought about posting it once. I think I might have did it. And I think I took it off there and said, the Messiah speaks. See, here's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. For me to put the black Messiah, immediately, all of my white brothers and sisters are going to be turned off and don't want to hear anything about it because they're tired of hearing anything about blackness. And now what could this black nigger saying that makes them think that I'm some type of Messiah? They're going to be the attitude. So that being the attitude, they're going to miss everything. And my black brothers and sisters see it, and they get jealous and envious. Oh, man. What? Man, this nigga crazy. Blah, 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 blah. And then they miss it. So I guess I don't want to get caught up in what I'm being called. I want to be called, see, us dealing with the message that I bring. And see, ladies and gentlemen, I was thinking about that and haven't been given that. I was given a different message to tell you that I've been telling you all the time, but in a form, perhaps, or should I say, an analogy that perhaps I haven't used. And it might make the difference. And that is this. How many of you are at work today? I mean, every last one of you are hoping that you are. You're trying to get that paycheck so you can live the kind of life that you always dreamed of living. And for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care how hard you work, you're never going to get a chance to live that kind of life, because it doesn't matter how much money you get, you're going to still find so much opposition. You're going to still find so much stuff around you that's a turnoff. You're going to still cry. I mean, your tears are going to be just as real as the tears of a poor man about perhaps different kinds of things, but your tears are going to be just as real. And a tear is a tear. And I'm telling you, it's like a virus. It doesn't have any distinction. Wherever you come, wherever there's something that would draw it out, it's automatic. So ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to really know about this life is this. Going to work every day, trying to hustle, trying to do the best you can in the system which you have been brought up in. This is a fact of life. This is not to be denied. I know that, you know that, God knows that. But what happens is, ladies and gentlemen, is that you are brought up in a system, you're trained in the system and taught in a system that is designed to prevent what you were created to do. And it's been handed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. And the great loving father, the true mother, the true power, periodically in time when somebody is chosen, selected, to bring you a message, to share with you, to try to wake you up, to tell you that you're living in a falsehood, that the reality that you want, need, and desire rests in another direction, not on this path. This path is leading you straight where you're at, and the end of it is hell. Especially if you don't change it before you drop to the worst thing you can possibly be. And every day it seems as if we're doing everything we can to get closer to it. You see, this is what the Father wants you to know. You remember when you were a child? Well, there was, hopefully, especially in a good situation, somebody there always to take care of you. First of all, let's look at it in your mother's womb. In your mother's womb, you are taken care of just as good as your mother is taken care of. You're taken care of just as good as your mother is taken care of. Now, your mother must be taken care of herself in order for either of you to be taken care of. Now, how your mother is taken care of also affects you. Traditionally, passed on down. Generationally, passed on down. Genetically, passed on down. But when you come outside of that mother's womb, what happens? Hopefully, you're still taking care of your food, your clothing, your shelter, your education, somebody cleaning your boo-boo-boo, somebody giving you a nice bath so you can smell good and have you looking good, holding you up to the world, talking about how wonderful you are, you're the greatest thing since creation. You remember? Well, they told you the story. And then you grew up a little bit, and you had a chance to extend outside of the house, and you'd go to they would take you to the playground, and then you would be with other kids and you could play and have fun together. And you see tools out there in the park that you could use to have fun with. And as you can imagine things to do, that's how you would use them. And then you grew to a point that you didn't need your parents to take you to the park. You just go on your own. And out there you just come together. And you'd have so much fun. Do you remember the times you can have so much fun and all of a sudden a bully comes on the park? You remember how things kind of changed when that bully came out there? And that bully would make itself known by being a bully. And you remember when amongst you, whether it was a group of you or whether it was just an individual of you, that just stood up and resisted that bully and sent that bully stepping. You remember that? You remember how good that was? And that bully was gone and everything could go on as you were having that fun. Now, that bully didn't stay away. That bully kept coming back every now and then because that bully didn't like the fact that he was not in control. Bully always got to control the stuff. Okay? Now, let's say, and I'm trying to take you, ladies and gentlemen, so you can understand. As you grow up, you move into a territory where that bully has already achieved its goal and is achieving its goal. Hasn't reached the peak, but is achieving its goal. That means that that bully has returned back to the park several times, and until the point in time that there was no one to send the bully stepping. There was no one physically able to defend themselves against the bully. And there was not enough courage amongst them to come together to defend against the bully. There was not any spiritual truth that would embolden anyone to represent it. It was like at the killing of George Floyd, when the knee was on the neck and the people were there, there was not enough anything there to stop that killing. I mean, it could have been stopped. It could have been stopped. Somebody say, why God didn't stop it? God say, why didn't you stop it? Right there. And so that represents basically, my friends, what we have. That bully came on the park and finally found a foothold. Finally found a foothold. And now all of a sudden, start confiscating all of the stuff that was yours, that you shared equally and considered great blessings, and using your imagination to do all of the things that have always made for the joy that you have always enjoyed. And now the bully got his foot in. The bully is taking over. And at the level we're at, the bully is changing the system, making the system visible. You see, you talk about the 1%ers. You talk about the 99%, and why you suffer so much, why we suffer so much. It is designed that way. Now, I've just shared with you the playground, and you see how simple that is. But this is what they talk you about, Monopoly. They use Monopoly. Anybody who played the game Monopoly knows exactly what it's all about. It's about something else. It's not about you. It's about using you to get everything you got. That's what Monopoly is basically about, to monopolize. And that's the attitude that is expressed among those who they give an opportunity to learn of it. See, for the most part, they don't teach you that. When I say you, I'm talking about the general public. See, the people who get up and go to work every day, I have been taught this. The people who get up and go to work every day, they are the ones that keep this country going. They work hard. They are slaves. They work hard for the benefits of the playground, which is already theirs, intersected by a bully that they can't put out. And I'm not talking about Trump. Not now. Now I'm talking about the system. The bully in itself has turned and metamorphosed itself into the system. And the system is maintaining itself by the same thing it started with, your inability to diffuse it, to cause it to die, just accepting it on a hope that something happens. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what's happening now. This is the time for you to respond. You can respond as if you want the playground, or you can respond as if you are satisfied with the prison, with the cattle bin. For surely that is exactly what we are sharing. Now, what I'm doing, I guess this is why I'm chosen, is that I want for you the things that I want for myself. If you are working your butt off and the benefits of your society is based upon taxes, based upon debt, my friends, that each of you, on top of your working, have to go to. to possess those basic essentials that are yours. If you want to know more about what I'm talking about, I got it posted in almost every video that I've been doing recently. But I don't have time to share it with you right now. But it'll open up your eyes. So you can call me what you ever want to call me, because it doesn't matter. But the message is what I bring. It is the message that matters. The message is this: you are a slave. I don't care where you find yourself. If you find yourself in a 99%, you are a slave. If you are 1%, you a slave. You're a 1%er, you're a slave, but you don't feel the burden of the slavery that others feel. So in the area of punishment, your punishment is going to be much more severe than theirs. Why? Because they've already paid part of theirs on the way. On the way here, they paid part of theirs. You didn't. So you got a built up, you got a stacked up punishment coming on your butt for trying to abuse people. And ladies and gentlemen, as long as you allow them to abuse you, you know, they could have kept that bully out of the park. We can kick that bully out of the park. That means we can change our system. We can design our system to make sure that our dreams come true. We can design it as simple as we have allowed them to say that all of the stuff in the park belongs to them. And now for us to get anything from it that we need for life, we got to work for them. That means what we were given to do anyway, they're claiming it as their own. So they're using us like robots to go and produce this kind of stuff. And they can't do anything with it. It's for us. So in order for us to get it, and for them to have that maintain power, they make sure that they pay us a little bit of money. Rather than respecting ourselves and caring about one another, we care about the money. So we take the little bit of money and buy what we just got through making. What God just gave us, and we let them take it, and we approved it. Now we working. Oh my God, it's so crazy. Now we buying a little bit, but we need something over here. We want something over here so bad, but we can't get it. So I got to go into debt, borrow something, so I can get that. Now I got to have a little less over here so I can pay that to get that, and I got to try to struggle to get more salary when all you had to do was your one job that you loved. And that gave you access, ability to anything that was created. You have your job. Look at the doctors. The doctors, I found out, work their butts off. And people think doctors make a lot of money because they charge so much. But in making that money, I found out that they have so much money that has to be going toward taxes. And so what we thought they had, they don't have. But the money that goes toward taxes is not coming back to be used for us. Oh man, all kind of scams are being played on the people. That's why our roads are broken. That's why you find people sleeping in tents on the side of the highways in snowy weather. My friends, I'm asking you, I want to live as though we're in heaven, right here in America. And I know we changed the world from being so dependent, relying on ourselves. We changed the world because of the markets. We wanted to make more money. We wanted to play the game. Now, I'm not talking about you and I. I'm talking about the game that money people play. You know, they're never satisfied. So they open up the markets to go international. And so we're internationally connected. Now, am I giving you this truth? It's the same truth that's available to everyone. But whether we respond to it ourselves, based upon whether they respond, is insignificant. We respond because it's the right thing to do. Just because everybody that's in the park gives in, doesn't mean that we got to give in. But they always say, well, if we give in, they might as well give in. That's where it goes. If you might as well give in, because you can't win. If you don't give in, you're a winner. You're always a winner if you don't give in. You're always a winner if you don't give in. Now, there's something that miraculously happens that we as blind people can't see. There's something that happens miraculously that we as blind people can't see. See, there are two kinds of soldiers. There's a soldier that takes their orders from men. There are soldiers that's there to protect what mankind has stolen from one another. And the winner got these soldiers there to protect what they've done. And then there's a soldier that stands for what's right. Now, when you stand for what's right as a soldier, and what you stand for what's right, what's right for someone that's standing and representing what's wrong, here's what's happened at the end of the day. One soldier that's standing for what's right doesn't think about what's going to happen at the end of the day. Whatever happens is natural. His or her standing up for righteousness is a natural thing. What the outcome of any situation that they find themselves in is just a natural thing. And if something comes, let's go to the what we call the worst part. Let's say, like Dr. King or Malcolm X or so many of the other people that I don't know about by name, perhaps, or even incident, but who have lost their lives the same way, standing up for what was right. At that moment, in their minds, I'm sure. Why am I sure? Because that's the way I feel right now. It doesn't matter. Hey, if you're living in darkness, it takes a lot of courage sometimes to pull the curtain back and step into the light. Ask the vampire. The vampire said, whoa, don't put me in the light. No, keep the light away from me. I love the darkness. The vampire represents the darkness of humankind. It represents the madness of humankind, sucking each other's blood, living off each other's blood. All of these things, my friends, are significant. The message is being told. Now I come and share with you probably everything I have said to you that you have heard come out of my mouth today. You are probably saying, ooh, I declare it's the truth. How did he know it like that? And it's so simple for you to understand. But the key is what you're going to do. Well, that warrior that stands for righteousness is the one that's sent the bully packet. And you see, that was what we were required to do from the beginning. The fact that a thought comes to violate the rules and all that stuff happened. But we, my friends, are required, in order to maintain a certain standard, is to keep that other stuff out that don't work. Automobiles, you had to keep it. Sometimes now they get cars made, this part over here won't fit another car's part. You got to have the part that goes to the car. And yet at the same time, each car got to have a simulation of the part that's required for a vehicle to be a vehicle, to run. They got the same old guts. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the call for us today is, I don't want to keep hating to say it, I'm going to say this one more time. The call for us today is to wake up, walk into the light, and live. Let's get up. I'll pull these chains off our feet. Pull these chains off our minds. And let us go and break and open the door of our heart so that love can come in. And so that our hands and our feet and our mouths represent the love that came in, is the love that comes out. And the pain and the suffering of you, the people, will go away because we have learned a better way
And we made our choice this day that we're not going to be afraid of any bully. That those things that will rob any one of us of our lives must go. Why? Because that power that we can't see, that power that binds us, that power that we give to thee in our lives is what you see. And if you don't like it, take it up with God. Take it up with a power you can't see. And leave me be. Ladies and gentlemen, goodbye.